compliments of the seasons to you. So, set up this 3-tier 50th birthday cake with me. This 3-tier cake was indeed flavorful. I mean, it was full of flavors. I had red velvet, I had vanilla, I had cookies and cream, and I think I also had Madeira orange. So at this point in time, my cake was already baked, torted, filled with my meringue-based buttercream, stacked and trimmed. I then proceeded to covering, or should I say icing, the 3 tiers with white chocolate ganache. And don't they look pretty at this stage? Anyway, I then proceeded with covering all 3-tier cake with fondant. I covered the bottom tier with black fondant and the top 2 tiers with white. Off camera, I proceeded to coloring, or should I say spraying, the middle tier with gold spray using my airbrush. So here we've now we're not at the venue, but before we set out, I'd already stacked and fully decorated the bottom 2-tier cakes. So it traveled on its own 2-tier, and also the individual single tier was transported in its own box to the venue, which was about 2 hours drive from our location in London, and this was in Ashford, Kent. So we're at the venue, and before starting this process, I've already washed my hands. I do not wear gloves because I'm not comfortable with it, and I believe it gives a false sense of security in any event. So I have imbibed the habit of constantly washing my hands as often as required. So I've already washed my hand here before commencing the process. So here I've applied royal icing on the top of my middle tier to serve as an additional security for my top tier to sit on. The royal icing is made up of 2 ingredients, egg whites and icing sugar. So I placed, and it's a form of a stronger adhesive that's used in cake decoration. So here I placed my top tier on the cake. As you can see, my top tier was further decorated as well using stencils. So I used stencil to create a very beautiful design and royal icing around the top tier cake and applied edible gold pearls. So here, after placing my top tier on top of the cake, I've then applied a black strip which I cut out from home and placed in cling film to preserve it in terms of texture, in terms of its pliability, and in terms of its look. So when I took it out from the cling film, it was still fresh, as if I just cut it out fresh. So using water and a clean brush, I applied around the bottom of the top tier cake to serve as an adhesive for that black strip to stick on. So here I'm making sure that it is properly placed. So this cake actually consisted of a 10-inch round bottom tier, an 8-inch round middle tier, and a 6-inch round top tier. They are all individually 8.5 inches in height, that is 8.5 inches tall. So here I'm applying edible gold paste around the jagged edge of my black strip to make it pop out a bit more. So the gold paste made up of 2 ingredients as well, edible gold dust and clear alcohol, and in this instance vodka. Made it into a paste. Using my fine tip brush, I applied it onto the edges of that strip. Yes, this cake was supposed to be topped with a number 50 topper, that's 50. Unfortunately, that number 5 broke in the course of our travel. I used edible material to create the number 5. I used gum paste. Unfortunately, it broke, so I had to improvise. During the course of this, well, sometimes you plan and doesn't go as planned. It is important that you're able to improvise and think of it on your feet. So this was what I did in this instance. So I looked for an alternative. Luckily, I had an extra floral bouquet, which I created into that bunch and placed it on top of the cake. And it looks even nicer than if I had a 50 on it. And the celebrant loved it. Check out the setup of this setting. It looks really beautiful. The feedback on this cake was pretty lovely, positive, even days after the event. And I do check out that design of that stencil. Don't you like it? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do leave me a comment, and do remember to like, to share, and to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and a happy new year to you. Bye for now.